Hey guys, this is GMC Nerf Project here. I've gotten a few requests to do a Longshot Mod guide, so in this video I will be covering the basic modifications to a Longshot. These include air restrictor removal and spring addition, but I will be doing a separate mod guide on my personal half breach, and that will be separate because I want to keep my videos a little bit shorter, but I will have an annotation somewhere in this video to lead you to that. So you want to start with your Longshot. It can be used or new in box. If you have a new in box Longshot, I greatly envy you, and I know that you're probably out of the United States because they are not available here, which stinks. But anyway, so you take off the priming bar. Mine was in bad condition, so I only have half of a priming bar, but you would pry it off with the back of a hammer or 2 screwdrivers, whatever works best. And now just simply move on to the stock. Pretty straightforward. Unscrew that. And then move on to the body. There is a beastly amount of screws on the Longshot. So as you unscrew it, it might be helpful in order to place the screws in the pattern above the gun that corresponds to where they go, because otherwise it's very easy to lose where they go and just forget. So once you've opened up your gun, here are your internals. Now you want to remove the bolts because we're going to be getting to that later, so just take the bolt and you're going to want to set that aside because that is where the power is, but we're going to work on that later. Here's the rest of your internals. This is where you decide what locks you want to keep in or remove based on the function of your gun. I've outlined the locks here, and you can decide which ones you want to remove. Once you've removed all those pieces, this is what you should have. At the top left of your screen, this lock prevents you from pulling the trigger once your blaster is primed, and this needs to be removed if you would like to be able to deprime your blaster, which is important if you have a spring addition. At the top center of your screen, this also needs to be removed for depriming because this prevents you from pulling the bolt backwards once you've cocked it forward and back. That prevents you from, pretty much doing that. And at the top right of your screen, you have your catch. And you might want to replace the spring. You're definitely going to need to replace the catch spring with a beefier one if you are making a spring addition. A good place to get a better catch spring is inside the stock in the piece that holds clips in. And the other piece is your trigger. We will not be touching that. And here's your bolt. Here you need to take out the pin that is in the top left of your screen. This pin holds the bolt sled and the bolt together. You need to remove this in order to get to the clip lock and the bolt itself. So you can punch that out with a nail and a hammer. You can do it some other way if you would like to, but I can't think of one, so that's the best way for me. And then of these pieces, you only need these because the clip lock is actually what prevents you from pulling the clip out when the blaster is primed, and that's just stupid because that's really helpful. At the back of the plunger tube, we have 2 screws. Unscrew those in order to get to your plunger tube and plunger. Here is where you decide if you would like to make a spring addition. And if you would, then you need to take your plunger and change the spring. But before that, I want to show you some seal improvement. The stock seal is quite bad on the Longshot, so you need to remove the O-ring, and as pictured here, you can wrap some Teflon tape underneath the O-ring or electrical tape. That works well, but remember you need to use less electrical tape because it's thicker. If you wish to do a spring addition, you would unscrew the screw at the head of the plunger tube and then change the spring out for a better one. You can be spring addition, spring replacement, whichever suits you. At this point in the video, if you are going to be doing the half breach tutorial, you do not have to watch the rest because the rest is unnecessary material since we don't need these parts at all. But if you are not going to be doing the half breach, you can continue watching. When you look down into the plunger, you should see this piece here. It will not be by itself. This has been removed for displaying purposes. But you need to cut the 3 prongs that are here. You can see that they're out of place. They were already cut when I took this photo. I didn't quite think that through enough. But anyway, so you need to reach into the plunger and cut those prongs. If you go in with a screwdriver and jimmy it around until it comes out, that's the best way because it's difficult to cut something so far into the plunger tube. But you can get it done. It's not that hard. And then once you've made those cuts, these pieces should fall out They are trash. You don't need them. They are completely useless to the function. And then on your bolt, you should see this hole here. Hasbro puts this in place to divert air away from the dart, and this decreases range. So to fix this, you need to plug this hole with hot glue, epoxy, epoxy putty, whatever you really want to do. I personally use hot glue simply because it seals pretty good. It's a perfect seal, and it takes less drying time. So once you've done that, simply reassemble your internals and put it back together. Congratulations, you have modified your Longshot. Go pwn some noobs, and I don't know whatever you want to do with it, but it should get 10 to 15 feet more range, probably more if you did a spring edition. But tell me what you guys think of my videos. Comment and rate.